You know, I'm so blessed to have him as a father because of the person he is. You know, he loved basketball and always try to, like, you know, have one of his sons playing in the NBA, you know, and that was something so big for him, and he talked about it every day. So, I mean, that's why, like, for me, this moment is, like, even more special because it's not just me.
We just understand each other, like to be honest with you, like, it's so easy. We talk about everything, and usually we discuss, like, everything, and it's, like, it's just easy. Like, we'll talk for hours, like, about nothing. So it's, like, yeah. So it's, like, it's mostly like that. So, like, it's so easy to talk to them, and you know, we just got that connection that's like, that bonding that we don't try at all. It's, like, it's just there.
Basketball.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Inside Open Gym. We're recapping the latest episode of OG, the origins of Pascal Siakam. It's a nice week on Raptors Social and obviously with Open Gym. We're very pleased to be joined by another Siakam, Pascal's brother, Christian, a.k.a. Big Hezzy.
Big Hezzy.
You know it, man.
As well, he's the second oldest of the Siakam family, and I hope he will give us the origin story of Big Hezzy, the nickname. Let everyone know where he got that. As well as Christian, we're joined by Toss Mellis, the co-host of the No Dunks podcast, the Bounce on Yahoo, and handles on NBA TV Canada, and probably most notably, the face of the Thumbs Up Raptors meme posted on JE's after the Raptors win. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for
Glad to be here, guys. Glad to be here.
And, of course, Jeff Landicho, the one and only producer, creator of Open Gym. Jeff, I know you're joining us for our third episode here, and at any moment in time, you may have to leave. You do have a small one on the way. So we look forward to that, and we thank you for joining us. Let's start it off here. Christian, we'll start with you. Just kind of being on Open Gym, right? It's a unique experience. When players come to the Toronto Raptors, they may not have heard of it before. People probably know about it now. And kind of for you and your family and you and your brother, like, what was it like? Was it awkward getting used to having a camera following you around 24/7?
I mean, something that we never experienced. And when that happened, like, I was wondering, like, is any team actually does this, or is just the Raptors? I think it was so cool. Like, it was so, like, I mean, because you get more personal with the players, the families, you get to know the players. I think it was just an amazing idea. Like, I loved it. Like, I watched every episode, and it was. Yeah, I mean, it just makes sure that you knows everybody, right? Like, sometimes you see them on the court, like, you actually don't know the stories, and to actually watch Open Gym and learn about different players is pretty amazing. So,
well, were you yourself? Were you your authentic Big Hezzy self at the start, or did you have to put on a little persona for the cameras because you didn't know what it was like?
No, I was Big Hezzy bad. Besides, like, in LA, the name was in LA. I was after practice at UCLA, Rico Hans, and the trainer wanted to play one-on-one with me, so I had to go all the way back to the bag. So. And I was just kidding with Hezzy, like Hezzy moves and all that stuff. So that's after that, Pascal was like, "Yo, Big Hezzy," and that was it. That was it. The name.
I've seen those point guard moves firsthand when we played in the tournament, so I can vouch for the name Big Hezzy. That's
okay. Sure. Okay, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Christian, was there like a favorite personal moment that's been captured when you've rewatched it back on Open Gym? Like, you kind of get used to it with the cameras on you guys at all times, and you don't really know what that will eventually turn into in post-production. So when you watch something back, if you said, wow, that was a really awesome moment to be captured that way.
No, I think the beginning when he got, like, this whole journey, when he got drafted, and then when he got a call from Messiah, was talking to him and telling him, like, man, like, you got to come here and work, and all those stuff. I didn't see that before. Like, those stuff, I had no idea it was happening. And just have Messiah call him and, like, actually talk to him, like, man, we want you here, like, we need you here. Just come and put him to work. I think that was special to me, like, more than anything.
Hey, Toss, kind of from your perspectives, how have you seen Open Gym kind of inspire some other teams' content that you've seen, out there on socials? And what about Open Gym kind of makes it so unique and authentic?
The last word right there, it's authentic. I think everybody should be copying it. As Christian said, he asked, do just the Raptors do this, or does everybody do it? And everybody absolutely should be doing it. I think it's hard. It's hard work that you guys put in, just being with these guys for hours on end. But seeing Pascal and his bros there at that table, for me, was probably the best moment, where they're just hamming it up and just couldn't stop laughing because they just love being in each other's company. And so the fact that you get to see them in their regular sort of day-to-day life has to be copied by all 30 franchises. It's got to be part of every team's web platform. I was going through the comments yesterday of Pascal's episode, and everybody absolutely loved it. Of course they did, because they get to see Pascal at his true self. And I even got to watch him on Film Room on NBA TV with Fred VanVleet. They were watching Game 6 of the finals, and Pascal was making fun of Fred VanVleet doing the step back. Oh, here you go. Here, come back here. I got you. He was having a blast, and that personality is you've seen Pascal grow from year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 into that guy, and that's what you get on NBA Open Gym. You get all of that for the entirety of the episode. So it was a great episode to watch.
Jeff, you've been around all the Siakam brothers, Pascal, and many behind the scenes situations, some really special moments that you've captured with Open Gym. For you, what's it like to be kind of the fly on the wall producer hanging around with these guys?
You almost get a little envious about just how close they are. When they're together, the energy is just unbelievable. There's never a moment when they're not laughing. And that energy is just incredible. Like, it's so pure, and being an NBA player and exposed to so many things, and you never know what's like real out there, and some of the real relationships people have. But Pascal is blessed to be able to have Christian and James and Boris and the entire family with him along the way, and it grounds him, and it keeps him, it keeps almost it keeps that balance, and it's so important for a guy like Pascal. And you get jealous sometimes when you're around these guys and Christian and James, and they're just like, it's so fun to be around because they're just having a good time all the time. And seeing Pascal grow from the first time I met him, we didn't get to pick him up from the airport when he got drafted, but the first time I met him was at Summer League, and I remember he got hurt and he had to fly back early, and I was on the same flight with him, and that was the first time I got to meet him. Previous to that, we had our interview with him, and he was the growth that he's had since then. And to be able to capture it all, just for all of us at Open Gym, it's the same with a lot of these guys. We get to see it from the beginning and see them grow, and it's just an unbelievable thing to experience and witness it, and be able to bring that to the fans is also obviously incredible as well.
You mentioned growth there and hit the nail on the head. That's seems to be this rapid ascension from Pascal in the league as a player. Christian, people ask this question a lot, but like, was there a moment that you can remember growing up with your brother that you knew P could play at the NBA level?
Growing up with him, like, he played soccer, so
yeah,
I think we had no idea. So I came to the U.S., I was playing basketball, and my dad was telling me, "Oh yeah, your brother play basketball." So at the end, he started playing a little bit. He started found a little interest in basketball. I knew he was like, "Nah, he doesn't. We're not even worried about that. Pascal doesn't play basketball, so we're not talking about this." And then after a few years after, we saw him, like, when he came to the U.S., he went to this God Academy thing, and we watched one of his highlights. Hey, man, he was incredible. That I watched the highlight. I don't know if you guys have that, but he was black and shot, running, like, it was just crazy. I was like, okay, this is different. We didn't expect that. Like, it was out of nowhere. And then from that, you're just like, the rest is history. We have no idea how he came about, and The thing is, like, he's really started really late, though. He started playing basketball really late. That was the thing for him, but he picked up stuff really, really fast. I think that's one of his gifts.
Now, you guys, all you brothers are hoopers. You guys all played, and so you have that ability to judge. Was there a time when you guys were busting him on the court, and you're like, okay, now he stepped up and he passed? You guys remember that?
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was in Vegas the first time I saw Pascal after maybe 10 years, I think. I was in Vegas. We went and played we went to a rec center and play. And I was fresh out of overseas. I was just coming off from Bahrain. So I was still, in my big hazy mode, mode. So I was actually killing him that day. And then I could just see, out of nowhere, he just do some crazy stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, this is different. So but then I knew he was getting better. Like, you can see during while he was playing, he was getting better. So after that, I was like, whoa, this guy can be something special.
And Tass, watching Pascal, watching the Raptors all these years, tooting the Raptors horn to the national media that we always appreciate and love, and seeing him being drafted at number 27, and you kind of see his early role as a starter to kind of missing some games, not really seeing the floor in the early parts of the playoffs. How rare do you think, as you kind of cover the whole league, is that rapid growth in the NBA and even to the Toronto Raptors franchise?
It's I don't know. It's like 2 in a million. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is sort of like that in that, not to put Pascal in the MVP conversation, but I think they're very similar in that they started playing fairly late. And so that rapid rise just comes from nowhere, as Christian was mentioning. But watching this episode, I think Jack Armstrong put it so eloquently when he said that Pascal is a self-made man. He just did everything on his own, with the help of his bros. But really, it was his own will, his own toughness. He was never given anything. He was never given that starting spot, as you mentioned. He won that thing, and to go from when he was drafted, at 27. Actually, the director of global scouting there for the Raps, Patrick Engelbrecht, he called him a big. He called Pascal a big, and he doesn't play like a big. I know it's all semantics, but the dude is a wing. He's a big. Like Chris was talking about his blocks. He's a freak. And hey, I guess that goes back to my Greek freak comparison. Those guys they're just special, man. So yeah, covering the league for as long as I have. Yeah, really at this point, those guys, a lot of the guys are scouted, and Pascal starting to play in his late teens, that he's very unique, very, very unique in that regard. And
then Tass, how meaningful is it for you to have someone like Pascal, who has such, a high character, but who's also an unbelievably hardworking guy, be such a large part in bringing the first ever championship to Toronto that we've all craved?
Well, listen, those are the guys that keep the locker room together. I think sometimes, to bring up like the Spurs example, sometimes the guys, the foundational guys, the guys you need to be the good dudes in the locker room, sometimes are the boring guys in a way. And not to call Pascal boring, but I think those are the guys you need. You need good dudes, and Pascal, I think, he's a rock, man. Along with Kyle, like those were the foundational pieces, and those. I'm sure Masai was making sure they drafted the right kind of dudes. And he said when he drafted Pascal, I'm going to listen to my scouts this time. I'm really interested. You guys got to get the down low on when he didn't listen to his scouts and figure out when he screwed his scouts over. But this time he took the word of his scouts because he was drafting character guys. And like you said, Matt, that's how you win ships. And so. Yeah, you got to be proud of Pascal, and Pascal's like watching him with Christian and James. you get to see that personality shine through, and it's like, you know, going back to that Spurs comparison, people say, you know, Tim Duncan's the funniest dude in the world, and you know, you get to see this in open gym. You get to see their actual personalities shine through. So that's the fun of it. And yeah, winning a championship is always fun, man.
Christian, is there, like, you know, you're such a close brotherhood. Is there something that you guys try to teach Pascal, you know, off the court in terms of his growth? And also, was there any kind of moves that maybe you showed him that you could take credit for, you know, now that he's showing it off on a national stage?
Oh, I mean, he's not going to tell you the truth, but.
He's not here. Come on, Big Hezzy. This is your time. Let the world know.
I mean, the spin move, like some spin move, like I used to do that in college a lot, the spin moves, but his went to another level, right? He's just like, with his athleticism is just crazy, right? It's just, you know what I mean? It's just different. But I mean, man, like you said, man, he's self-made, man. Like what's the Qatar say, he's self-made. Like he just went on work. Like he didn't have. I mean, we didn't show him too much. He watched us while we was in college. But other than that, it's just like, you know, I want to be the best player I can be, and all I want to do is just get better, work hard, and whatever happens.
And then as a growth as a man, as you've seen him grow up as your brother.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, making decisions and, like, you know what I mean, actually tell us what he wants to do and stuff like that. Usually he's really like a laid back guy, very, very laid back, doesn't like too much of, you know what I mean, a lot of, I mean, I don't know how to explain that, but he's very laid back. Mm-hmm. But now he's taking charges, want to, like, you know what I mean, even about this, whatever is going to, about his, how can I say, like, is being an NBA player, you know what I mean? You got to make decisions. Like, no, I don't want this. I don't want that. Even deals, I don't, you know what I mean? Usually it's like, okay, what you guys think? Mm-hmm. That's how I used to say it. But now you're like, you know, I don't want to do that. I prefer to do this, because of that. And you can see the growth. You can see how it is compared to the first year, like the first and second year. It's more like, no, I want to do this. I want to do that. I prefer to do this. I prefer to do that.
Jeff, how do you kind of get players to open up about their most personal stories? And, you know, what was it like to uncover Pascal's story before, you know, the mainstream media got to get their hands on it, as Ta said, as other teams start to pay attention and other media outlets start to pick up some of the great coverage and stories that you guys captured?
The exciting thing every year for us is obviously when new players come in and new characters are able to come into the storyline. So when you look at Pascal, the first time we got to sit down with them was at Summer League. So usually we either pick them up from the airport, Summer League, or if they're like house shopping, are the three key moments for us where we can get to know them, sit down with them, kind of, you know, even though we have a camera, it's still pretty casual. So it gives us a nice little comfort level where we can kind of get to know them. And at Summer League, that was the first time I met him. We sat him down. We brought him up to our hotel room. We sit him down and just shoot it up for a little bit. And he a lot of his posts and a lot of his social media accounts already had, you know, he was honoring his father. So that story we already were aware of. And when you sit down with them and there's a personal story like that, you know, you ask them first, you know, how do they feel about sharing and talking about it. And eventually throughout the interview, as you're asking your line of questions, you find that right moment where, you know, it's time to kind of like dive into some of the more personal stuff. And, you know, for the most part over the years, guys have been, you know, open and comfortable with sharing their story. And I don't know if it's, you know, just the environment or the setting, but the guys have been real open. And for Pascal, he has such a fascinating story. It was, for us at Open Gym, once we started doing our research and started learning about Pascal a little bit more, it was exciting to have him and enter the fold and us be able to share his story. And we were pretty happy with the piece when it first came out. That's where we're blessed, because we have access to the guys and we can really kind of dive into their backstory right off the hop. And you know, with Pascal, it was easy. It was basically easy.
Jeff, you know, you've had the chance to be there with them and, you know, on all those journeys, and you got to see Pascal as a role model. to the kids of the Giants of Africa and Basketball Without Borders camps that you're so heavily intertwined with. You see a difference, like, you know, how the kids view Pascal from where GOA began at the start?
I've been traveling with GOA for about 5-6 years now, every summer. And this past summer was the first time we go to different countries each year. And this past summer was the first time we went to Cameroon. And knowing that Pascal was going to be able to take time in his schedule, and I know they had a whirlwind schedule a couple weeks before ending up at the GOA camp. Knowing that he was going to be there for those kids was just another level. Obviously, with us, with the relationship with the Raptors and everything, but having Pascal as an NBA champion, most improved player, coming in with the Larry O'Brien Trophy and being able to interact with those kids, and knowing that 5 years ago, those kids were Pascal. You know, it doesn't get any realer than that, and the inspiration doesn't get more tangible than that. And that entire gym, you know that moment is gonna live on for them like the rest of their lives, and hopefully carry these youth to do something big on the basketball court, wherever it is. Those couple of days were huge. Pascal got to speak to the kids about life, about basketball, and it was a good couple of days. It's not like one of those appearances where, you know, you show up for like 5 minutes and then leave. He really interacted with the kids and sat down and watched them play. It was one of the standout moments for GOA for me over the last 5-6 years, having Pascal there to be able to interact with the kids.
It's unbelievable to see somebody that comes from coming from Cameroon to Basketball Without Borders, just wanting to participate in basketball, and coming to South Africa to see his sister, and then you go from there to actually even being a superstar in the NBA, which I think that's what Pascal is becoming. You know, the most improved player in the league. How he performed in the playoffs. This gives hope. It inspires all kinds of kids. It inspires all kinds of youth, not only in the game of basketball, but generally in life. And it's a good place for us to be.
Have you noticed it? Have you received any feedback? Have you seen that impact back home?
Yeah, most definitely. At the camp, one of the camps, a kid came. I was sitting down with Pascal. We were just watching the games, and the kid came. He was like, "I want to be just like you." And Pascal just looked at him like, "No, you want to be better. You want to win 1, 2. You want to win 3, 4 championship. If it's not basketball in life, I want you to be a doctor or something. You know what I mean? To help your community, something like that." And the kid was just confused, like, "Why I don't want to be like? Why you don't want to be like you?" I said, "No, I want you to be better. Just." You know what I mean? Do the right things. Follow, you know what I mean? Listen to your parents. And for me, it was growth. Like, just seeing him saying that was just like, wow. I couldn't even imagine that. You know what I mean? It was just different. The impact that all the kids were just amazed. Like, they were just going crazy. Like, oh my God, we have a champion in Cameroon. It's the first championship in Cameroon, like, you know what I mean? NBA championship. So it was just crazy. It was unbelievable.
And you feel that sense of pride,
yourself,
but you can sense it. Right?
Family, the energy was crazy. It's just so much love. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, I was just proud, brother. I was just proud. I was like, yo, man, you did it. You did something incredible for the country, for the kids, for the community, and it will be like that forever.
And it's interesting. You said that his advice to kind of be the best you can be, and it's kind of linked into Masai's slogan that he's been preaching so long about dream big with these camps, right? And speaking of Masai, like, what kind of impact, Christian, have you seen from Masai on Pascal?
All over the continent. It's crazy. Like, I mean, I talk to like friends like because I have a few friends in Senegal and stuff like that, and all they're talking about is Masai. They know Masai, they know all this, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, how do you know him? He said, no, he got so much. A lot of people love him in different countries, not just, you know what I mean? Not just in Cameroon, not just like, it's everywhere. The impact that is being like with the kids, like try to, you know what I mean, build leadership and like in every possible way is amazing. It's incredible. Like, you don't see that many people do that. So for us, it's a blessing.
I don't think Raptors fans have really seen a player like that with a unique skill set since maybe Chris Bosh days. So, searching for that and waiting for a player like Pascal to emerge, like, do you remember the process, Toss, of like searching and waiting and hoping that like a team, like you said, a good character group, almost like a perfect blend and mesh of guys came together and having a guy like Pascal emerge the way he has?
Well, yeah, you can dream and wish for a guy like Pascal to handle like a guard and defend like a wing and block shots like a big and score like a big. But that's just it's just a gem, Yeah, you can dream. You can dream. There's been lots of draft picks where you think, a Bruno Caboclo type of guy who's got those attributes, being a 7-footer in Bruno, and he's still trying to find his way in Memphis there. And luckily for him, he's got to stick around, but it's just hard to, it's just so hard to find. It's just, I think Giannis is the most apt comparison, like with that bag. But Pascal's developed it into a real NBA skill set. It's not just something that comes out every once in a while. It's not just a project. And Pascal at number 27 is, it's I can't believe he dropped that far when you look back.
Just before we wrap up, Toss, any questions for Christian or anything you want to know or anything else, guys, before we let you get back to the day-to-day here in isolation?
Well, Christian, I'll ask you a question I saw going on in the Open Gym comments, because I see you wearing the PS logo hat. Where can people buy the Pascal Siakam logo stuff?
It's coming soon. Like, I think we're still in we still try to figure out how to, like, the design and try to, like, make it perfect. Like, we try to make it perfect for you guys. I think that's the only thing. And then with the cover thing, it's like, make it thing. We're supposed to have it, like, this year, but with the COVID-19, we got to kind of slow down. But it's coming soon, for sure.
Listen, guys, taking up obviously a lot of your time, and we really appreciate you guys joining us. That's a wrap for this episode of Inside Open Gym. Thanks to everyone on the panel. Toss, thanks for preaching Raptors fandom all throughout the States. We love it. Keep doing it. You guys were the OGs of content, and we appreciate you guys a lot for everything that you do. Christian, thanks for spending some time here, my man. Hopefully, once COVID-19 is done, we can get some of that new Pascal merch, and we can get you back. We can get you back on the court and see those big hezzy moves, man.
As always, man. It's my DNA. Let's get it.
And Jeff, great work as always. Incredible footage. Open Gym is, a leader in content. Everyone's craving for the new episode. The new behind the scenes look. So we thank you for all that you do, and we'll end it off with a little bonus clip from Inside Open Gym. Check it out.
This here is Hasten Tobias Davis. He was born 6 days before the draft. He helped me grow up as a man, as a young man, motivated me tremendously, helped me put in perspective to think about putting others before me. Such a blessing, man. I remember the first time me actually holding him, and it was just a different feeling, It's like you really can't explain it.